Ishiro-san, how you doing?
Takahashi, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. How's the bonsai growing, if you get what I'm saying?
You old scallywag.
I was recently talking to my cousin who knows this film producer in Thailand, sees, and he had a boffo idea.
I love it. The last ideas have been great. What do you got?
Well, you know what's really popular right now?
Flamethrowers.
Yes, however, what's really playing well in the theaters anyways, not so much the flamethrowers. They don't play too well in the theater itself, but we're actually popular right now with this here Karate Kid that's going on with the Ralph Macchio over there in the U.S.
And the Pat Morita?
Right, fine countryman of ours. The producer that I know through my cousin in Thailand,
right.
He's got this idea to make a very similar Karate Kid type movie, but changing it just enough so that you don't even really notice the differences.
Perfect. So easy money. Easy money.
What we're gonna do is, instead of him being taught by like a sage-like groundskeeper, he's gonna be taught by the ghost of Bruce Lee.
Can we get the real ghost?
We can look into that.
Okay, good.
Okay, we're gonna shoot it in Seattle, so we can actually, be real, what's the word I'm looking for here, respectful types, and actually shoot his grave.
Yes, perfect.
Because, that's respectful, right? Shooting someone's grave.
Yes, as long as when we shoot it, the characters say, "Oh my god, I love this man."
Okay, we'll definitely throw that in there.
Then it's perfect.
We've got this new guy. He's really hot. He's gonna play a Russian because, it's America, so they gotta take on the Russians.
Oh, those old Ruskies.
The only thing is, he's from Brussels.
That's not gonna be a problem.
I think if we limit his dialogue, we'll get okay, because that way they won't notice that he has a French accent, not a Russian accent.
Well, Takahashi, the good thing is, the French accent and the Russian accent don't sound that different.
No, they're very similar. And like I said, if we keep it minimized, the only people who might notice are people with a really keen ear. Like you or myself,
Right.
Like, I notice when you talk, you've got your very excellent and refined Yokohama accent.
I do.
Excuse me. And then when I talk, I'm sure you hear my very cosmopolitan Tokyo accent.
It's overwhelming.
Right. But only folks like you and I with a real discerning ear will be able to notice this.
I love it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go all in on this.
Okay.
We're going to make a movie so good, we're going to make the Karate Kid look like the Karapi Kid. And then you know what happens.
What happens?
That's when the money rolls in.
When I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What's up, everyone? I am Brendan.
There's no surrender. I'm Nathan.
And you're listening to another episode of What Were They Thinking? We are back with a bang because we've got quite the film to talk about. Now, here's the issue, Nathan. I don't know what we're going to be able to say about this because I don't think this movie has any flaws.
No, none at all.
And it's very straightforward.
Yes.
It was made with very limited amount of cheesiness.
Oh, I know. Like the dialogue and delivery of said dialogue is on point.
Yeah. I believe Meryl Streep is in this somewhere.
If she's not, it's a travesty that she isn't, because it is certainly to her caliber.
This could have been the movie where Meryl Streep and Jean-Claude Van Damme shared the screen.
Well, I mean, I feel it's long overdue that they haven't, right?
Sam Furstenberg approved, by the way.
Yeah. And Jesus.
Well, of course, we're talking about No Retreat, No Surrender.
Right.
1986, I believe?
Yes, 86.
And before we get started with the actual movie, I looked up a little bit about this movie, a little bit about the background. First of all, we don't know what the budget was. I'm assuming very low, but it made about $4.7 million at the box office. So I'm assuming that's like triple its money back.
At the very least, because it did spawn 2 sequels.
With none of the original actors, I'm assuming.
No.
Which is funny because nobody in this movie, aside from Jean-Claude Van Damme, who definitely was not known at the time, but nobody in this movie is really like a name actor.
No.
There are a couple of real fighters that were somewhat known.
Sugarfoot? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, Sugarfoot.
Yeah.
But no, unless you like knew about that stuff, you would not know who any of these people are.
Well, I guess Sugarfoot, he's actually done some stuff, but it's always been supporting, but it's always been like a warrior or fighter type role.
Yeah. I had no idea who he was. But I want to talk about, the background of this. So, apparently Jean-Claude Van Damme, not so much that he was difficult to work with, that he was a diva or anything in his first movie.
Is what I've heard.
Green, and apparently just like to kick people in the fucking face.
He was, he was, the rumor is that he wasn't very versed in stage combat.
Yeah. So the big thing I have here is this guy we were talking about, Sugarfoot, Peter Cunningham is his name.
Yep.
He had never been knocked out in a fight, ever. In his whole career up to this point.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme shoots the first fight scene with him. Well, first kick knocks him completely out. They recover. He's very apologetic. Second take, knocks him out again. Twice in a row. Jean-Claude Van Damme immediately got apologetic and tried to stop and tried to apologize. And the director apparently was like, no, what are you doing? It's real. Use it.
It's kind of funny because the rumor about him getting his first gig with Golan Globus is he went into the offices and did a roundhouse kick to either Golan or Globus and stopped just shy of their face. Pulled it perfectly.
Too,
So
that was just before Bloodsport, I believe.
Yes. So something happened between this and Bloodsport where he got trained in stage combat.
He's like, oh, if I don't hit them, I get more acting jobs.
I'll get more work, yes.
Maybe I'll do that for my audition. Except with way more broken English than I just gave it.
My audition.
So here we go. No Retreat, No Surrender. And you can tell it's called that because the titles attack you on the screen as the movie begins.
Yes, because there is no retreat or surrender from this movie from beginning to end.
Right off the bat, we start off in a karate dojo, helpfully labeled Karate Dojo.
Right.
The first thing we really get is, I guess it's a karate class, and a lot of, hoo-ah! Headlock, hi-ya! Donut punch,
yes.
Elbow, ah! That's basically the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yep.
And we meet our main character. It's a very unlikable introduction.
He is being a bit of a dick, isn't he?
Yeah. So his name is Jason, and the first
Figures.
thing we really see... What was that?
Figures.
Oh, I thought you said Voorhees.
No.
The first thing we really see of Jason is instead of sparring, not even sparring, but just practicing blocks and chops, he just decides to kick this guy in the chest and knock him down. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that too. By the way, Jason is a white male.
And a huge Bruce Lee mark.
Yes. Doing stereotypical Japanese
Bruce
yelling.
Lee stuff.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I also noticed right off the bat is when they're all gathered together in this karate dojo, there are a couple of 45-year-old men in the background.
Yeah.
And they're students. Mm-hmm. It's all teenagers except for those two dudes.
Well, funny you should bring that up. My daughter's in jiu-jitsu, and the intermediate class that comes after hers has quite a few teenagers and also some middle-aged men who are, coping with some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
It just
not uncommon is what I'm getting at.
It made me laugh.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed right off the bat is everyone talks with their hands a lot.
Well, yeah.
Like
how are they going to know you're talking if you're not moving your hands? I'm moving my hands right now.
These are some very inexperienced actors, all of them, because every sentence is punctuated with a quick moving of the hands in some fashion. It's like they all think they're on like a stage or something.
They could all be community theater actors. That would make a lot of sense.
You think, much like the Demons of Ludlow, this production raided a community theater and took all its
L.A.
actors.
community theater, I mean, or Seattle, I guess.
But it doesn't take long for things to get interesting.
Interesting?
Enter.
I mean...
Well, I mean...
for the story to get rolling.
For the story to get going, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to know what this... So, right off the bat, we get this scheme. These mobsters come into the dojo. A mobster and, like, his two bodyguards, I guess. One of which is played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And we learn that he's trying to take over dojos?
Yes, to be, like, a front for money laundering.
Yeah. Dojos is a strange choice for that.
Not to reveal too much about myself, but if I were to open a money laundering business, I wouldn't think karate dojo. I would think check cashing place.
Yeah.
Pawn shop.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Those two things. Those are the most ideal money laundering facilities.
Well, because if you think about it, how much money are you going to get out of a karate dojo? You get yearly dues, maybe.
Monthly.
Or
and you're
monthly dues.
looking at like anywhere, 86, you're looking at anywhere from $20 to maybe $50 a month.
Yeah.
Per person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going to exactly
you're not exactly going to make a big return on your investment.
I guess maybe they're doing it because everyone would be like, if a mob took over a karate dojo, that would be really stupid. They definitely haven't taken over this dojo, guys. Let's go.
They're just doing it to stay under the radar. Did you think that the mafia guy looked a bit like the governor from Oz?
I'm trying to remember. I have watched all of Oz.
He's got a really weird name. Governor Devlin.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I could see that.
I'm not even going to attempt that guy's name.
No? Okay.
Yeah, no.
So it's not Adewale Akinue.
No.
Okay.
It's like Gorham something or other. I don't know.
Oh, Viznik or something.
Yeah. See, yeah. Now you get it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. So these mafia boys, they come up and they want to take over this dojo, and old dad, because I don't remember his name in the movie. Jason's dad, who's also the karate instructor.
Does he even call him any? Like it's just dad.
No, he calls him Dad. And right off the bat, so Dad doesn't want this. He doesn't want to sell out to this mafia.
Right, but he doesn't want to fight. I will not use karate for aggressively
unless I have to.
Yeah.
And the fighting right off the bat is so hilariously and obviously sped up.
They're calling you about it right now.
What's that?
They're calling you about it right now. Can you hear them?
I can.
I'm getting it right now. Yeah. No. Hello? Yeah. What do you mean it wasn't sped up? He did not move like that. You mean... No. You did not slow it down. That's for damn sure.
Ask them how they keep getting this number.
Who gave you this? What do you mean, go pound sand? I am hanging... Good day to you, sir. Good day.
Like, do they have... These people must have Google alerts set up on their phone.
Must be. You didn't put my phone number up on our Twitter page or anything, did you?
I mean, just in the profile section.
That could be it.
Oh. I said call if you have any questions. So he has this fight with these karate guys, Jason's dad. Jason's dad gets his ass handed to him because of Jean-Claude Van Damme, who kicks him in the face.
Zelcho Ivanek. That's
What?
the guy. That's the guy who played Governor Devlin on Oz. I looked
Right,
it up.
I
I figured I'd be brave and attempt it.
Gornum Slagin.
No, it's Zeljko Ivanek.
Zellers Van City.
They're close enough.
Okay.
I think they closed that store down.
Van City?
Well, the Zellers in Van City, anyways.
Right.
Right.
So
Yes.
we get a lot of Jason as his dad. They break his dad's leg, and
Do
Jason,
they though? Because
They-
I
in
have
the
some
movie.
questions about the placement of that cast a little later on.
Don't know how you could.
Yeah. So Jason tries to come to his dad's defense.
Dad!
Jason! Jason!
It's amazing. Jason, Jean-Claude Van Damme grabs Jason, almost breaks his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And lets him go or whatever. And then they decide, well, I guess we're going to have to move and just give up this dojo to the mafia.
Yep.
Now, why do we suddenly get a voiceover? That was
where
strange.
when he's in his hospital bed.
Yes.
That is one of the first scenes that was not in the first cut that I saw when I was a kid.
Yes, because you were saying there was two different cuts for some reason.
Yep.
But like, he's not the main character.
Nope.
The dad is hardly in the movie from this point forward. He's in a few key scenes, but suddenly we're in his head and we're listening to him go, well, I guess I don't know what to do. The mafia are all over me. Like, it's like we just saw this happen.
Yep.
we
And
know.
I think that's why that scene got cut.
So we are going to Seattle. They moved to Seattle. And just in case you don't know, Seattle's flashed up on the screen and we see the Space Needle about 5 times.
Yes.
Just to really push that idea forward.
Before we get out of there, what the hell was this organized crime doing in Sherman Oaks?
I mean, that is their hangout.
Yeah. Brooklyn, New Jersey, Sherman Oaks.
It's one of the triad mafia hangout
Yeah,
states.
it's one of their home bases in the U.S.
That's right, Sherman Oaks, California. So you guys listening right now in Sherman Oaks,
Stephen Izzy.
Yeah, move away. By the way, I got Stephen Izzy to watch this movie a few days ago, so you're welcome. And also thank you, Nathan.
Hey, you're welcome. Glad I could oblige.
Pay it forward, guys. Pay it forward. So we are in Seattle, and I have a note here that Jason does something to like mock his dad for having a crutch. Like, he just kind of makes fun of him. And I'm like, you just watched him get assaulted and cried, and now you're like, oh, Dad's got a limp.
Well, and this is where I guess my questioning of the cast and everything started to come in, because when he got into the fight with Jean-Claude Van Damme, it looked more like he broke his knee. Like the kneecap.
Yeah.
When he gets the cast on, it's a full foot cast. And his knee is not in the cast.
Well, see, here's the thing. When you break someone's knee, the nerve is actually connected to the foot. So it actually breaks their foot. Now, if you step really hard on someone's foot, it will break their knee.
Shut up, Brendan.
I don't know if you know that. Just like I did a little bit of medical research.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah. So.
That is the only oversight in this movie.
Yeah. The only one, yeah.
So, Jason and his dad, I was going to say his family, but it's literally just him and his dad.
No, his mom does show up.
Like once.
Like once or twice you see her, but she
yeah.
she has no when him and his dad are fighting like cats and dogs, she is not the one stepping them. Boys, stop it. Just Jason, leave your father alone, and Jason's father, just leave Jason be for a little bit. We never
Flawless.
I don't remember his name.
Jason's father.
Jason's father.
Okay, so here's where we meet RJ.
Yes.
RJ is quickly becomes Jason's best friend.
Yeah.
African
He seems a very
American
social chap.
Yes, and by the way, I'm just going to say this because of my point I'm about to make. So he's an African American gentleman. Mm-hmm. Within the span of 5 minutes, they have him dribbling a basketball, rapping, and breakdancing.
It's very socially and culturally sensitive.
5 minutes after you meet him for the first time in this movie, they're like, just so you know, we know all the stereotypes. We're going to get them out of the way right now.
Tom. Jason's dad's name is Tom.
Oh, so Jason's dad it is.
But Mrs. Stillwell doesn't have a name.
Jason's mom.
Jason's mom does not have a name. No, it's just Mrs. Stillwell.
I actually do have a note here when RJ shows up about it being community theater level and maybe even worse than that. Well, the guy who plays RJ,
Yep.
right off the bat, he is a very interesting actor. He's making some choices. Just the way they interact, it's like, it is community theater because the way they're overreacting to stuff, like, just for example, like, are you moving here? No, I'm just here for the weekend. Oh, good. I was worried about the price of housing going up.
Yeah, which is a nice little "there goes the neighborhood" joke.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so over the top.
And then we meet Scott.
No, Scott. A lovable, obese, hot dog loving jackass.
He is a Cartman prototype, if there ever was one.
Yes, minus the anti-Semitism, but it might be there.
It might be there because we don't get a full backstory on him. But the racism is there.
Yes, I was gonna say, when he is asked, so he shows up. He's the villain, one of the villains, and we know
eating
that he
cake
doesn't,
with his hands.
eating cake with his hands, stuffing hot dogs in his face, rubbing mustard all over his face. It is disgusting. But the thing is, when somebody asks him, why don't you like, or why don't you care for RJ? He says, I got my reasons.
And that's it. He never expounds upon it.
So, racism?
And he hates Jason right out of the gate because he's a Bruce Lee fan.
Yeah.
It's like, Bruce Lee freak. That's just what I need.
Like he's got something. But
why is he Southern?
Yeah, I have no idea. They're in Seattle,
Yeah.
not a southern state. Yeah, like Washington's the state, but you know what I
Yes,
mean.
I get what you're saying.
So the other thing too is he said he calls him a Bruce Lee freak, and he says like, oh, stupid or whatever. Here's the other thing, guys. Spoiler alert for later in the movie. Scott is also doing karate.
Yes.
This big guy who can barely move at points in the movie, and sometimes he runs really fast. It's very the continuity is all over the place, but he is also doing karate. Back to RJ and Jason, because they're having a great time. When Jason tells him he's not a black belt yet, though.
About, yeah.
Okay,
the black belt thing. He's a guy who's been in for karate for 2 years, and he's a 2nd degree black belt.
And no, I thought he said he didn't have a black belt yet, because then
No.
RJ says, what are you, in a slow learners program?
Exactly, and RJ says the guys that he knows who've been doing it for a couple of years, one of them's already a 2nd degree black belt.
He must be talking about Bruce Lee.
My daughter, in jiu-jitsu, has been doing this now for 4 years, and is only now about to get her yellow belt.
So are you saying that this movie is inaccurately representing that part of karate?
Absolutely.
Wow. Hot
take. That's right. Throwing shade.
So Jason and RJ become best friends after about 5 minutes of meeting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a note. Sorry, I just got distracted by a note I have here. Is someone jerking off? Oh, wait, it's Jason training. So I think he's making really weird sounds, and then it pans over to him training with that, what do you call that thing? That karate
the
wood thing.
The wooden man.
Is that what it's called?
Well, that's what he called it.
Okay. So Scott also has a poor relationship with his father, who we see once.
And you know what? In the cut that I saw as a kid, never saw once.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like the cut you saw as a kid cut out a lot of the scenes that don't really need to be in the movie, but they definitely add to it.
Yes.
This is so now Scott. RJ tells Scott, he knows he's a huge Bruce Lee fan. He's like, "Hey, Bruce Lee's grave is in Seattle. I can take you right to him."
Mm-hmm.
And we can, so Jason gets some flowers, goes to his grave. This is his real grave, isn't it?
Yes.
So they filmed at Bruce Lee's, legitimately his grave.
Yeah.
That is dicey.
You want to hear something even more sketchy? Or sketchier?
Yes, I do.
Sketchier. The last Bruce Lee movie that had Bruce Lee in it, he died while he was filming it. Rather than, shelve the movie because they didn't have enough to finish the movie, they rewrote the story where the character fakes his death and goes undercover, plastic surgery, and now he looks like Bruce Lee. They actually filmed his funeral and stuck it in the movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, No Retreat, No Surrender, way more sensitive.
Well, for a bit.
For the most part.
So they go to Bruce Lee's grave, his real grave, which I was not sure of, so thank you for confirming.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get another scene with RJ and Jason running afoul of Scott while he is in the restaurant shoving food into his face. And this leads me to a little clip of this scene I want to play because it is disgusting.
All right, dig in. Equal hurts is on me.
Isn't that porno music?
Thanks for the lunch, Scott. This is great. Yeah. No problem. Stick with me, kids. You never go hungry.
He sees RJ in the parking lot.
Stephen J. Canal music.
What's the matter, Scott? It's that slime ball, RJ. Hey, Scott, why do you hate that kid so much? I've got my reasons.
So that was the
Way nicer than saying I'm a total racist.
Yeah. That's AKA he does not care for black people. So then we got a big brawl in the parking lot of this restaurant, where RJ is kind of a moron because he backs up, he runs away to a place where he's easily cornered by all these guys.
Yeah.
He runs over to, like, the patio of, like, another restaurant.
No, it's the patio of the restaurant because it's like Burger Joint or Burger Time is the name of the place.
Yeah, right. And
Get out of here, Brucey, this don't concern you.
so Jason shows up, kicks the bad guys' asses, they take off. Scott is very upset and he has mustard all over his face. It's gross. We do get the titular line, though.
Yes, one of many times they say it.
No retreat, no
surrender.
surrender.
Fucking twerps.
What?
Fucking twerps.
Okay, one of my favorite type scenes coming up after this is the dad, Jason's dad, getting mad at Jason for fighting. Because it is some real acting here.
I don't know how it got back to him that he was fighting because he just comes in and he's like super pissed at him.
Well, I think he just sees like his face or something, doesn't he?
And automatically figures he was fighting.
Well, doesn't he have like scratches on him or something?
His shirt's a little messed up.
Yeah, I mean maybe you know Jason though. You know old Jason.
That rapscallion.
Major question comes up at this point for the movie. I gotta ask you right now.
Okay.
Okay. So Jason is dating this girl named Kelly.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Before the movie begins.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, not really. They met last summer.
Okay. Wouldn't it be better if they met through the course of the movie?
Yes. 100% yes.
Okay. Also, if they have already met and they're already sort of semi-dating, right? Mm-hmm. Why is he not aware that her brother is this karate master?
A fair point.
Because he finds out, so this Ian guy, he finds out, who he's already a big fan of, so he knows who he is like this guy that does Seattle karate, because, those Seattle karate experts are world famous.
Well, yeah, because because the party that we're gonna get to actually happens after they go to the dojo.
Right.
Because that's where we have our very first run-in with Ian and Scott. And this is the first time we meet old Sugarfoot.
Yeah, and I think Dean shows up at this point too.
Hmm.
But my
Oh yeah,
question
no,
is,
we don't meet Ian. We meet Dean. Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Ian for like a quick second because he runs off and he bumps into Jason and they've never met.
No.
So
Even
that
though
is
he's
my-
kind of dating his sister.
Right. That's my question. How is he not at least if he's never met him? Because okay, well, let's say he's away all the time. Sure, but he probably should have known that was her brother
Yes.
if he was already dating her.
Correct.
What I am saying is this movie has another flaw.
Because even later, when in the movie, when Jason's talking directly to Ian, he's like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah. Yeah. Like Ian's never seen him before in his life. He's dating your sister for a while.
Yep.
It's a serious thing. So that's just the one thing I wanted to get off my chest there. But because we do need to go back to the karate dojo. That is where we learned that Scott is in the karate class.
Yes, because we have the fantastic exchange between Scott and Dean about where he says he was putting Seattle karate down.
He was, yeah. Oh yeah. So Dean is the karate. Well, he's taking over as the karate dojo master for Seattle.
Yes, he's the interim sensei because Ian's off in Reno at a prize fight.
Right. So Dean's taking over for him. Jason and RJ show up. RJ is not doing karate, by the way. He is not.
No, and
He just
actually,
goes with him.
Dean is even polite to him at first. Because he hasn't had this conversation with Scott when he's getting all set up for class. He said, "Okay, the locker room's here. You go to the dojo. Come on in, and we'll get you started." All right, sounds good, man. Yeah, they're having a really good relationship. And then Putz Face Scott says he was putting Seattle karate down.
Right,
He's putting it
'cause Scott-
down.
Well, because Scott wants Jason to get out of there. He doesn't want Jason around, obviously.
I know, but I guess for me, I suppose Dean is supposed to be an older teenager as well, I'm guessing. If someone were to say to me, like if I was involved in some sort of, like if I was involved in karate in St. John, and someone was like, "Oh man, he was putting St. John karate down," I'm like, yeah, how do you put karate down? It's, what? I'm not going to get into a fight with somebody over something like that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, we've all heard about the turf wars between Seattle and Los Angeles karate.
Sherman Oaks.
Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
It's well known. It's out there in the world. Also, this is the second movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme where we hear the words kumite, by the way.
Yes, well, that is a legitimate term.
Oh, I know. I just think it's funny that this is the other movie where people say that he happens to be in.
But I also have my other big issue with this is that Dean is supposed to be the teacher.
Yep.
And therefore he's supposed to be responsible enough to be able to lead and run the class without getting up to some immature chicanery and starting a fist fight with a student he's just met and getting like one of the best guys in the class to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, he is not a good teacher.
Not at all. No.
No, because that's exactly what he does. He has a guy beat the shit out of Jason in a karate fight. And basically RJ comes in and distracts them, I guess, and then they run off.
Also, was that dojo a bowling alley before?
It sure looked like it.
Did you notice that there were arrows on the hardwood?
Oh, I didn't notice that, actually.
I did. There was. I was watching it, and I'm like, and it wasn't just like randomly placed. They were placed in like that V pattern that you see on bowling alleys.
All right, places, quiet on set, camera. Excuse me, Corey. Yeah, the arrows on the. Just forget it. Just shoot it. Whatever.
Tell them to stop bowling on lane 7.
We don't have time. We don't have sound on this shot. Don't worry. We'll record dialogue later, like we did for the rest of this movie. So
I did enjoy the gigantic hair and teeny bikinis. It was very 80s. It got the member berries going in me.
Well, this is of course
I was
Kelly's
8 at the time.
Was this movie your sexual awakening?
No. Revenge of the Nerds, remember?
This is, hey guys, what was your sexual awakening? Oh, maybe like Basic Instinct, like Revenge of the Nerds. How about Nathan? How about you? No retreat, no surrender.
It's been my mantra for sex ever since. No retreat, no surrender.
It's a good mantra. I like it. So, yeah, Kelly's birthday party, Kelly were meeting for the first time in this scene, which I still think is insane. Dean, the karate teacher from earlier,
he is a stupid head.
He is a stupid head, and he's wearing a very pretty blouse.
Oh my god.
A really nice blousey shirt. And he just comes up and like kisses Kelly on the mouth right in front of Jason. I'm sorry if
not having it.
No, and I'm sorry if that's me. I'm kicking him in the face immediately. Right? Am I wrong?
Yes, of course. No, you're 100% right. I don't know if she's trained in karate like her brother is, but...
Oh, no. I don't mean if I'm Kelly. I mean if I'm Jason.
Oh, yes. Well, no, that's overstepping.
Oh, okay.
Until, like, if she says no and he backs off, okay. But if then he forces it, then by all means, no retreat, no surrender.
By all means.
Yep.
Ian is at this party too. He shows up with this giant trophy. But then he has to leave because, guess what? The Mafia are back, and they want to take over the Seattle dojo. Which I have a note here. One of them looks like a skinny Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
The dude with the glasses?
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He looks like... I thought it was him for a second. I was like, no, there's no way Brian Doyle Murray's in this movie.
A little more credit at this point in his career.
I don't even think he would be in a movie like this, like, now.
No, that's safe to say.
So the Mafia are trying to buy out the Seattle dojo.
Although I don't know, Bill Murray's brother who was in Moving Violations, maybe.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, he's got another brother.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so
they
they
do
try
that
to
one on an episode. That one's pretty funny.
They try to buy out the dojo. Ian's not having it.
Nope.
And he takes off. The funniest thing is when Ian shows up at the dojo to meet with them, he like karate jumps over the railing instead of just walking down the stairs.
Everybody karate jumps over that railing.
Right?
RJ jumped over it.
Yeah. And then at the party, so Scott, like you said earlier, when he had cake, he's eating a whole cake. He's flinging it at Jason. He's throwing mustard at him. Jason gets his ass kicked by Dean.
Before this, Jason gives what's her face
A rabbit?
a rabbit.
Right.
For a girl he's not really dating, he just met last summer and he's kind of getting friendly with.
And then they make out hard.
Just a second.
So sorry.
Gave her the rabbit. And she says, oh, he's so cute. And he said, you made such a big deal about him at the pet store the other day. When were they at the pet store?
We did not see that scene.
Did not see that. And of course, one of my favorite parts, and I'm sorry we skipped over it, was when the Mafia contacts Ian, and he takes the call in the duck room. The room was just rife with ducks.
He has been in Seattle for maximum 3 days. They went to the pet store before he got there?
Even if they hadn't, if they had rather, if he would have reached out to her and say, hey, my family moved is living in Seattle now. Do you want to get together? Yeah, we'll meet at the mall. And they meet at the mall, and they go to the food court, then they go to the pet store that's in the mall. You know what? Those are scenes that could have been used. Not Jason's dad, Tom, in the hospital, or what was the other one that was kind of superfluous, didn't need it at all?
Oh, the Scott's dad.
Yes, because there's not a whole lot going on there. So, I mean, just cut all that stuff out and put in the scene where Jason and the girl go to the mall. Kelly!
But yeah,
why didn't the Mafia just open their own dojo?
Or go to any other business.
Yeah, like I
What's
said.
the obsession with karate? Also, the Mafia has their own karate masters, too.
Yes!
Like, what is going on in these
They're
towns?
the Karate Mafia.
Oh my god, the Karatia? The Maserati? The Mafaratia. There we go.
It sounds like an off-brand version of a Maserati.
Hey, it's the Mufferadia. At this point, yes. So Jason gets his ass kicked at the party.
Yes, because and that's how Dean endears himself to his sensei. He causes a fight at his sister's party, which he's hosting at his house.
Yep, because that's good karate, right? That's the overall sensibility of karate.
Yep.
So here's my thing, though. Jason is so mad at Kelly.
Yeah.
He is
makes no sense at all.
Pissed off at her. Like, I even wrote, what a whiny bitch. Because
And you're talking about Jason, not Kelly.
Jason, not
Yes.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense. She's like, what are you talking about? I didn't tell him to beat you up. And he's like, ah, you don't understand.
He drives away and we get flashbacks to what we just saw.
Literally 15 seconds ago.
Yep.
Like, it's as if Marty McFly went back in time at the Twin Pines Mall, landed in 1957, and then as he woke up, he remembered that he went back in time.
1955. I don't want us to get obliterated in the comments.
Oh, boy. I'm sorry. 1955.
Yep.
At this point, they go back to Bruce Lee's grave because why not? Let's just shoot it again. And
I don't know what to do.
if I had not known what this movie would turn into, because that's coming up later, I wrote down, are they going to Weekend at Bernie's him?
Jesus.
That's the rest of the movie. Bruce Lee and Weekend at Bernie's.
No, Jason goes home and his dad's all mad at him because he can tell he's been fighting again.
Yeah, shirt's ripped again.
Yep.
He's got mustard on him. So he rips his Bruce Lee poster very delicately.
No!
Oh yeah, he is not happy. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to run down the street to RJ's house. RJ comes out with a beautiful shower cap on.
Well, it's because he's got Jerry curl.
Right. I know.
No, that's legitimately why he's got the shower cap on.
It's still a funny visual.
It is.
And we get another stereotype for African American characters in movies. They could get anything, anywhere.
Yeah, and he convinces Jason that it's a good idea to squat, in
This
an abandoned
crack
house. Yep.
Yes.
And this is where we get the most egregious use of boom in shot.
Okay, I thought I noticed that, but I wasn't sure if that's what it was.
No,
So it was totally there.
Every time they're in that house and they're doing shots for anything in that house, boom in the shot just about every single time. And there are a few times where I saw the lights. Like the stage lights that they would be using to stage the scene. So they spend all night getting Jason's dojo / crack house all set up. And RJ says, like, you want to come back and you can stay at my place? And Jason says, no, I gotta head home or my dad will call the cops. And then he falls asleep reading a karate magazine.
Yep.
Which begs the question, did his dad call the cops?
I thought you were going to say, which begs the question, is this Jacob's Ladder?
This is a Jacob's Ladder type scenario.
Dude,
We're not
that
that podcast.
No, we're not. It's a great show. Watch it. Listen to it.
Listen to it, yeah.
So you're asking, did his dad call the cops? I guess not, because there's no cops later on. But you know what does happen? This
The ghost of Bruce Lee.
Yeah, this happens, folks.
Who's there?
Light through a
Is it
door.
you? You know. You asked me to come.
Karate heaven.
Technically Jeet Kune Do.
I asked you. Sensei Lee?
Oh my god.
Lee Dago, you call me.
Lee
Shall
Dago.
we begin? Begin? Begin what? Your training. You asked me to help. I'm ready. I've studied a little. And? And I haven't been the best of students. I know you can do better. Utilize what's up here.
The ghost of Bruce Lee is in this movie.
They tried, in that the guy is Asian.
And he looks nothing like Bruce Lee.
This guy, I know that he was Asian. At least they got that, because the Russian is a Frenchman.
That is shocking to me, because the director of this movie is not a white man.
No.
You'd think he'd be like, no, guys, we have to get someone who looks like Bruce Lee. And everybody else saying, well, he's Asian. You think the director would have been like, you think we all look alike? But no, he's like, yeah, you're right. We are pretty similar.
I think that they felt that no one would notice if they like really Bruce Lee'd up his clothes and haircut.
My question is, why? So he's obviously dubbed.
Oh, terribly dubbed.
I was going to say, why is he dubbed by someone who can barely speak English?
Because he still has to sound like Bruce Lee.
But, like, you think they want to make it a little bit more...
It's because you called me, Jason. I'm going to teach you karate.
My name's Bruce Lee, and I'm here to tell you a thing or two.
Teach you how to kick ass and chew bubblegum. Guess what? All of the bubblegum.
I love that Rodney Piper. Okay, here's the thing. I have seen a movie where, you know, someone worships is very fond of a celebrity, or like, you know, one of a Bruce Lee type figure.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have a scene where they kind of see his visage, and he might say, like, listen, just be yourself, just stay true to yourself, etc., you'll do great. And that's it, right?
Right.
This is 20 minutes
Oh, this goes on
of the
for
ghost
days.
of Bruce Lee training him fully.
With montages interspersing to show the advancement of his technique.
20 minutes of this shit.
Which made me beg the question, is Jason living in the house?
Yes.
Because
The father has given up.
days that pass, and it's like, is he living there? I thought his dad was going to call the cops.
Is he living there? And my other question is the ghost of Bruce Lee really there, or is Jason just going crazy?
Because we cover that, yes. RJ
Yeah.
sees it, and he's like, he just sees it, Jason talking to nobody.
To nobody.
And
Also-
full-on Tyler Durdening himself.
Also, if there is a ghost of Bruce Lee there, my other question is, how can they physically interact? And how can the ghost of Bruce Lee pick up...
Pick up a sandbag, kick him in the dick.
No, my best one, my favorite one, a cup of water and a cup of Coke.
Oh, the Diet Coke, yeah.
And, like, how could he pick them up? My theory is that Jason has lost his mind.
That's a very distinct possibility.
I don't know how he gets better at fighting, but I feel like he's lost his mind. Like we said, it's from another podcast, but he might be dead at this point. But we do
we do get the montages, but after this we move to see what old Tom's been doing to support the family.
Oh, working at a bar?
Working at a bar.
I do want to say, though, during one of the montages, RJ interrupts Jason, and we do get a tickle fight.
Their relationship is interesting, to say the least.
I think that's the true love story of this movie.
Well, because you get the tickle fight, and then there's that other scene where Jason is doing what we're supposed to be dips.
I thought he was just trying to do like push-ups or something.
No, because it was like well, it's almost like this. It's almost like a sit-up combined with a dip, because his feet were up on one end, his shoulders or back were up on another thing, and he was basically dipping the middle of his body down and then pushing it up. And for added weight, RJ is sitting right on his pelvis, eating an ice cream
with booty shorts
and just having a great old time.
Yeah, his facial reactions almost look like he was making an O face.
Yes, I'm pretty positive there's a reason why he was Jason was so quick to get out of his relationship with Kelly, because RJ's that's the real love story.
The movie should have ended with these two fucking. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, they had the music for it. You guys all heard it, so.
Oh, you mean the training montage music?
No, just the when Scott was at the burger place and the other where it sound like the porno music. That was
so you don't mean this.
No, that's not porno music.
You don't mean this great music.
No, that's like super generic 80s pop.
That is my favorite. I love the song. I love the training montage song. So yeah, so their relation, they have a very close relationship.
Clearly.
They're getting it on the frequent from each other. Nothing wrong with that, guys.
No, nothing at all. No.
Fill your boots.
Very progressive, actually.
It's a very progressive movie.
To take that brave stance in 1986.
When he's doing the exercise and RJ's sitting on him, just to note, Jason does have his dick out.
We're pretty sure of that, yeah.
I think that's the unrated cut that I saw.
Interesting enough, that scene was not in the cut that my brother and I saw when we were kids.
That is unfortunate. Although that would have, if this movie was your sexual awakening, that would have given you a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah. Well, maybe it is what responsible for my broader worldview, today.
There you go.
Dudes can like dudes. It's fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay. And you know what? And not only that, but it's an interracial relationship.
Yeah, which is even more so progressive.
This movie is the most progressive film we've ever done.
What about Ben and Arthur?
I think this movie is more progressive than Ben and Arthur, a movie about gay rights made by a gay man. So yeah, Jason's dad is working at the bar, and we talked about this off air before we started.
Yeah.
But I thought there's a guy in the bar that's harassing Jason's dad.
Who looks a lot like Sid.
Sid?
Yeah, Sid Vicious.
Oh, okay, yes. Ooh, got that wrestling reference.
There you go. Gotta get it in there.
It's alright. Just like with RJ and Jason. Hey.
Yeah. Hi-oh.
Oh. But I thought it was Scott.
I thought it was Scott's dad.
That's fair. But Scott's
when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Again, the whole scene earlier with Scott's dad and him getting him to clean with the pressure washer and all that wasn't in the cut that I saw. Right. So that later in the movie, when Tom is accosted by this guy at the bar who looks a hell of a lot like Scott, I would just assume that it was Scott's dad because they were all living in the same neighborhood and he was working at a neighborhood bar. So it would make sense that Scott's a bit of a dick. So why wouldn't his dad be a total dick as well?
I also love because there are some movies and TV shows where they make the dad look pretty much exactly like the kid but bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a thing that would have happened in a movie like this.
So it would have made sense too if they'd done that, because then they would have been able to say, we went out of our way to make Scott and his dad look alike, but not the ghost of Bruce Lee.
That's right. Well, I mean, he was Asian.
Right. And he wore pajamas and had a bowl cut.
That's right. That's all you need.
Yep.
I also thought it was weird. So the it's not Scott's dad. You got me all. Jason's dad eventually has to fight him off because this guy takes a pool cue and tries to attack him.
Mm-hmm.
He breaks it, so I'm like, is he gonna stab him with it?
Nope. Just gives him the bums rushed out the no dogs allowed door.
Yes, that was my question. Why are there no dogs allowed outside?
Well, no, they're just saying no dogs allowed in the bar.
But why would that be on that side of the door?
Oh, maybe it was on both sides of the door.
Maybe, but the way it looked like to me is like, oh, you can have your dog in the bar, you just can't take them outside.
No dogs allowed in the alley.
In the alley, right. Where the very public alley.
Yep.
Outside.
Yeah.
Outdoors. So Jason's dad gets rid of him. And we got
more homoerotic training.
More homoerotic training. We got to finish up with Bruce Lee, the ghost of Bruce Lee, who gets him to put his foot in like a harness or like a rope.
He's teaching him how to do the flip kick.
The flip kick, yeah. So he eventually gets it, and then as soon as he gets it, Bruce Lee is like, "All right, peace.
I can't teach you anymore."
It's the most anticlimactic ending ever because literally doesn't say anything. He just leaves.
Yeah, there's no goodbye. There's no I've taught you everything I can. Use what I've taught you wisely. You'll do great. I'm sure you and RJ will be happy together. None of that.
Right. Back to Jason's dad.
Yes.
He goes outside of the bar, and this guy's waiting for him. The guy who I thought was Scott. And Jason's dad at first is like, "Listen, I'm sorry, it won't happen again." What won't happen again? Serving him alcohol and then kicking him out for being an asshole?
Apparently, because Jason's dad doesn't want to use karate in an aggressive manner.
Oh, karate is dragging him 10 feet and throwing him out the door.
Yeah.
Actually, it looked like they did like a wrestling lockup. And they just kind of sashayed to the left a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But these drunk guys, they want to kick Jason's dad's ass.
Yes, and
thankfully,
Jason does show up.
Yep.
And he's the one who takes them all on.
Single-handedly.
Yeah. And we get that exchange between Jason about and him his dad. I was such a fool and all that. And I'm like, the fucking dialogue in this movie
is so good.
Oh, and it's delivered so
amazingly.
God damn it.
Let's go home. Mom's making dinner.
Yeah. Jason's mom's making dinner. Let's go home.
Let's go home.
Okay, Jason's dad.
Let's go home. Mom's making dinner. Smash cut to a nightclub.
Right. Because and RJ with his spot on MJ cosplay.
Yeah.
A bunch of rhyming there. I'm so proud of that.
With good job.
Thank you.
With two people dancing in the middle of a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, was this scene in your cut?
Yes.
That is surprising.
Well, because it was 86. Breakdancing was a thing, and it was popular. So, yeah, it was there. Plus, it has to play in because this plays into their relationship between Kelly and Jason. And those two folks who were doing the breakdancing, they help kind of get them back together too, right?
With the help of the 50-year-old DJ.
Yes.
At this bumpin' 80s nightclub.
It's like, everybody get up and dance. And everybody gets up and dance, even Kelly's lesbian girlfriends.
Whoa.
Dude, they were straight up. I mean, again, super progressive for 1986.
Were they grinding on each other?
No, they just looked like they looked real Indigo Girl. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Nathan making assumptions.
I don't know. I know there's anything wrong with it, but they definitely looked Birkenstock.
Well, this movie, like we said, it's very progressive.
Very, very much, yeah.
Very progressive. But yeah, they tell the 50-year-old DJ who's working there to play slow music, and he's probably like, ugh, finally, something I know.
Not up with this hippin' and hoppin' music.
So immediately, as soon as the slow song comes on, everybody just goes right into slow dancing. It's so seamless.
Yep, and the breakdancing girl gets to start dancing with Jason, and the breakdancing guy does his little shtick.
Yeah.
He's like, "You want to dance?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, and he starts doing his breakdancing, but he's making his heart. It's breaking his heart.
That was upsetting.
And she dances with him, and they kind of. Whoa, spin around in misdirection, and then, Jason and Kelly are dancing, doing the Dawn and Melania. They do not look like they're in love at all.
The chemistry is on fire.
Yeah.
So Jason and Kelly make up. She calls him a jerk, and he's like, "Hey, you're supposed to say, no, you weren't being a jerk." And I'm like, "Shut your mouth. You don't deserve to be with anyone.
You were being a whiny bitch.
You are the worst." Honestly, I'm sure there's another example, but I'm sure that we've done other movies with whiny lead characters, but this might be the worst one.
Yeah. It's up there.
Super whiny.
He's terrible. Although, when you get right down to it, though, he is playing the perfect angsty teenager.
Yeah.
Because they're the worst. The worst.
I feel like he's really playing up the angstiness, though. Okay, anyway, we gotta get past this. So we get out of the nightclub. They're back together.
Mm-hmm.
we go to our main attraction. This is the grand finale. This is the Seattle team against, I guess, the Mafia team from New York.
Well, I think they're supposed to be from New Jersey, aren't they?
New Jersey. I thought they said, okay, well, New Jersey, New York.
Or were they all American or something? I don't know.
Yeah. So, instead, though, they pull the rug out from under the Seattle team and say, you're all going to fight Jean-Claude Van Damme. Remember him? Well, he's back.
There must have been a guy who looked like Stephen King, because I have a note here. It was nice to see Stephen King help.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and take a look, because I'm probably going to watch this movie a few more times before I die.
You'll have to watch this movie again.
Patty did note that the ring announcer looked like Colonel Sanders' nephew.
He did sell pretty well getting shoved into the ropes.
Yes.
Whoa! He dramatically bounces off with his mouth agape the entire time. But here's the thing. So Jason goes to this fight and he sees that it's Jean-Claude Van Damme, and we get flashbacks.
Also known as La Russian.
Right. La Russian. I like
La
that.
Russian.
So he sees that it's La Russian, and he remembers back to the beginning of the movie when Jean-Claude Van Damme broke his dad's foot.
Knee, leg, shin, I guess.
His shin. And he's like, wait a second, you guys can't fight him. This is all he's seen him do, by the way, so I have no idea how he knows that he's this great fighter.
Yeah, he's seen one fight with his dad, who clearly doesn't like to fight to begin with. And so much so that you had to defend him from a group of rowdy bargoers.
Right. So he goes up to so Jason goes up to Ian, and this is again speaks to our discussion earlier. Ian's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
No idea who he is. He introduces himself as a friend of Kelly's. Why not just say, "I'm Kelly's boyfriend"?
Maybe they're not putting labels on it. They're just having a fun time and seeing where it goes, Brendan.
Progressive movie.
Yeah. I did like here, a little bit of confusion was brought because the Mafia guy takes over as the ring announcer and introduces Le Russian and says he's Eastern Europe's most feared fighter. Is he Russian or Eastern European?
Eastern Euro-Russian.
No.
I thought you were going to say that you did like referee Charles Robinson.
I actually have that. Little Nate is the ref.
That's amazing.
Yep. It's quite the wig he has on.
That's his real hair.
Yeah, right.
So Jean-Claude just runs through these people.
While the mob lackey is just having a total orgasm in the crowd.
I did notice that for some reason, did you notice that a major star was in this movie?
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Besides Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, Charles Robinson.
Well, a major actor.
Colonel Sanders' nephew.
No. Al Pacino from Serpico. Did not know he was in this movie.
Yeah.
Right there in Jean-Claude's corner.
Yep.
I just have a note that says Serpico sure likes touching his shoulders. So the sped up fighting is in full effect here. It's really all over the place.
We got quite a bit of Jean-Claude Van Stallone.
Oh, with him talking, trying to
with
talk.
him and making that scrunched mouth down the corner face.
He does do a really good Russian accent.
Yeah, it's spot on.
He beats the crap out of... So as he's beating the crap out of Ian, because he's already kicked the other two guys' asses, and he's basically about to murder him, no one does anything.
Ref bump.
Ref bump. We do get him kicking the ref. He almost does something to Kelly, and then
she gives him a chair shot.
She gives him a chair shot, which he knows sells. And then Jason leaps into action.
Yes, and he's like, it's you for the first time. And he's like, but this time it'll be different. Russian.
Yeah.
And that sends Jean-Claude Van Damme, a.k.a. Ivan Krasinski, a.k.a. Russian McRussian, into a murderous rage.
A.k.a. vodka.
He refer to me by my cultural upbringing.
That's right. It's like if I went to you and I was like, you Saint Johnner.
Filthy Frederictonian.
But it's not even
Frederictonian, right? That's a thing.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
It's not even but he, like you said, he didn't even say anything bad about Russian. All he said was, "You Russian."
Yeah.
You American.
No, he doesn't even say you. He just calls him Russian.
Russian.
This time it'll be different, Russian.
Right. And he's like, ah!
Yep. And then we get the flip kick, which is this movie's crane kick, because that's what he's been practicing, right?
And then we also flash back to more Bruce Lee ghosts, though.
Yes. And
you can never have enough of that.
No, you can't. With that flip kick, the Mafia is defeated.
The Mafia is defeated. Because, by the way, we didn't mention this, but the dojo was on the line.
Yeah. Because that's how these things work.
If you ever find, like, the Mafia creeping up on your business, just challenge them to a karate fight.
For your business.
For your business.
Yeah.
Because that is legally binding.
Yeah. And that's it. We roll credits.
And my favorite thing about the end credits is
Please
that
tell me.
this really speaks to the movie as a whole, because the credits are over, and then for another 10 seconds, the song is still playing.
The credits didn't last as long as the song. I got that exact note. The song is longer.
Guys, there's a thing called a fade. You could have put at the end right there.
Instead, they play a whole extra verse.
It's right. I was like, well, I looked at the timer, and I was like, there's still another 20 seconds left. I think this is the final credit. And then, sure enough, the song keeps going, and the screen is black.
You know the guy who plays Jason? He grew up to look an awful lot like Norm Macdonald.
But that is no retreat, no surrender.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty great.
Yes. What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLOCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLOCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk. I have a question.
What's that, little Hulkster?
Hulk Hogan?
That's right, brother.
I mean, someone who sounds like Hulk Hogan, but copyright-wise is not technically Hulk Hogan.
That's right. Sure. Why not? Don't internet search me.
Okay, my mom doesn't let me use Google anymore anyway.
That's probably for the best, little Hulkster.
Wait a second. Maybe you can help me.
I'll do what I can.
Where I'm looking for all the wrestling news, rumors, and all the results, and I can't find them anywhere.
Well, let me tell you something, little Hulkster. If you need your fix for internet wrestling rumors and results and all the inside information, you're going to need to go to WrestlingNewsWorld.com. If you're not there, you're not anywhere, brother.
Wow, thanks, kind of Hulk Hogan.
Sure thing, little Hulkster. Remember, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and go to school and all that other stuff, because I'm not really Hulk Hogan, so I don't know what he'd want to say.
WrestlingNewsWorld.com.
What were they thinking?
So I guess a lot of times we forget to do this because I think it's pretty obvious by how we talk about the movie. But Nathan, would you recommend people watch this?
Oh, 100%.
I'm
just to say that you witnessed this.
And the thing is, like, there's a lot of portions we didn't really get into much because literally it's the ghost of Bruce Lee, and that's crazy. But then it's just a training montage, and it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
like it's just a bunch of kicking and punching, and you do not envision it. Blah 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 blah. Just like the end. The fights at the end are actually very entertaining.
Yes.
It not in like a legitimate sense, but they're enjoyable. I will say you absolutely need to watch this. Jean-Claude Van Damme, though, don't go in thinking that it's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie because he's only in it, like we said, for maybe 10 minutes total. The end and then that one thing at the beginning.
But, I mean, the dialogue and the delivery of said dialogue is something that must be witnessed to be believed.
Legendary.
Yep.
But
Nathan,
Yes, Brendan.
I think you know what time it is.
Yes, it's that time in the program where we dust off our best NPR voices and bring a little class to this otherwise tawdry affair. It is time for the low haiku.
Low haiku. So, who is going to begin?
I believe it is your turn to go first.
Oh, okay. Karate Kid on crack. Jean-Claude Van Damme is Russian. Bruce Lee's ghost. Slurgan! That was my brain exploding at the end. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Jean-Claude Van Russian. Bruce Lee, more lively than this. Okay, cheated on that one.
You added an extra syllable.
I did.
Very good. Very good. I was going to say, at this point, we say, don't take our word for it.
Don't take a word for it.
Here's the thing,
No,
though.
but you could totally take our word for it. This is awesome.
Take our word for it, because this movie is fantastic.
Although some critics did not agree.
Yes, because there are 2 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Three critic reviews.
Well, 1 is negative, but it doesn't have any comments.
Oh, okay. Well, and look at that mustache. How can you trust that guy?
This one is, for some reason, this is a positive review from Walter Goodman at the New York Times. It says, the advice from this corner, retreat. I don't see how that's positive.
He enjoyed it. It's fresh.
You should run away from this movie. 5 stars. Basically.
Austin Tunick from Under the Radar writes, come to no retreat, no surrender for the Van Damage. Funny. You're delightful. But stick around for the wall-to-wall WTF-ness.
I agree with that second part, but don't go for the Van Damage, because you'll watch 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That's it for critics, guys. I did copy down some of these user reviews, though, because they're pretty funny.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good.
This one is from David M. He said that he breaks this down in a mathematical sense. Karate Kid plus Rocky 5 plus awful acting
Right.
plus okay theme song equals no retreat, no surrender. But I kind of liked it.
Of course. This one actually is from Anthony. And, yeah, it kind of sums up how I sort of felt here.
Okay.
A film I loved when I was 11. Managed to track it down recently. And this is garbage. I turned it off after 30 minutes. Cheap crap with bad acting. One of the many imitators that the Karate Kid spawned. Now, I will say this. It does have Howard the Duck levels of holding up to what I remembered, because I legitimately liked this movie when I was a kid. Like, my brother and I, we had a copy that we had gotten off of, like, the movie channel or something back in the day. Someone had recorded it for us, and we wore that tape out. Man, we watched it a lot.
How much do you have to watch a tape to wear it out?
We didn't literally wear it out, but I mean, we watched it a lot, man. So much so that when my parents moved out of their house when they were downsizing, we found the tape. It was still at my parents' house.
Well, we should watch the VHS.
Well, you'll get that cut that I watched where we don't meet Scott's dad, and there's way less homoeroticism in the training montages.
Boo!
And we don't get Jason's dad in the hospital.
Boo! This next one comes from Eric. This next one comes from Eric L. I'm not sure what he's. Anyway, top 5 of my inspiration movie. Either you like karate or not.
I think you should have read that in a Russian accent, because that person is clearly ESL.
Top 5 of my inspiration movie. Either you like karate or not.
There you go. Katie M. absolutely loved it. Ellipsis X.
Sean I did not care for it, though.
No.
He says, this pile of crap was so bad that dead people complain.
Well, there was that, Bruce Lee did send a sternly worded letter to the...
Dearest producers, sincerely, Ghost of Bruce Lee.
Guys, I think we really got something here.
Oh, any publicity is good publicity.
That's right. Hey.
I have one more, but if you have another one you want to read.
All right, let's see if I'm gonna feel I can find a negative one, because I've been all about the positive on this one.
I've got one from Brett H. So
okay. All right. This will, because we talked about how the movie's theme was longer than the credits.
Yes.
The only thing this is from Ben C, by the way. The only thing worth watching for this movie is the soundtrack itself. Although it and the movie seems to be cliched even for its time, even when compared to Rocky and the Karate Kid. P.S. The reason why Jason Stillwell and his family moved to Seattle is because of a sudden injury from his father, who was at the beginning of the movie a martial arts Ben, be better. Be better. This is awful.
Get on your get
on your game. Get your shit together,
yeah,
Ben.
Get your shit together, Ben. Come on, Ben. Benjamin. I used his full name.
Yeah, well, I know that way he knows you're serious.
That's right.
Okay, lay the last one you got there on me.
All right, Brett H. He is not happy. And he also doesn't make any sense at one point. You'll know.
Is it Bret Hart?
It's 2 T's, so probably not.
Okay.
But you'll know right away the part that makes absolutely no sense. Unfortunately, this film is probably the worst film ever put together. The acting is pants. The script is worse. It's just as bad as I remember. It's just as I remembered it from when I was about 6 years old. I loved it back then. That's the reason for the 3 stars. The acting is pants?
Pants. Does he mean, is it like banana pants?
The acting is pants. I don't know.
I've heard banana pants, but it just seems weird, to say pants.
From now on, I'm just gonna use that.
It's like when when you listen to some millennial who wants to say crazy and they say cray and you just want to punch them in their face.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the reviews.
There you go. Yeah. Totally see it though. Worth it.
Yeah.
If you can see the uncut version, because ooh, the homoeroticism alone is worth it.
Yeah, it's this movie, guys, above all else, this movie is pants.
Pants.
It's totally pants. But before we start plugging our shit,
that sounds kind of homoerotic as well. Just gonna
German homoerotic maybe. But before we start plugging it, we should talk about next episode.
All right. Well, what's your hintaroo?
Well,
your hinsky. My
hinsky, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
your brief description of possible for the movie.
Right. So
the words that you're going to use to kind of tease us about what the next movie is.
Correct. So my hint is
a brief summarization of
I will kill you.
All right, I'll stop.
Are we good?
Okay.
So my hint for next main episode is simply it's about to get real sexy up in here. Real sexy.
About to get real sexy up in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. Nobody was going to get it, and I don't care.
I cannot wait to review Elmo and Grouchland.
No, it's actually No Retreat, No Surrender Part 2.
Oh, sweet. It has nothing to do with this one then.
That's right. That would be my clue if it was that movie. Nothing to do with the movie we just did. But yeah, that's it. It's going to get real sexy.
All right.
So plug away, good sir.
I've got my friend here with me,
Oh,
and
boy.
he has promised to be nice.
Yeah, we'll see how long this lasts.
Okay, well, what? Just gonna give him the mic here. Hello! It's your good friend Montrose, Monkington III Esquire. And I would like to take this time to thank Brendan and Nathan for giving me the opportunity to advertise my stuff upon their show. You can check out my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV. You can also join my Facebook group, Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends. You may also follow me on the Twitter, Montrose the third, number 3, RD on Twitter. I'm covering a lot of wrestling these days. In fact, you'll possibly be seeing my videos for the upcoming WrestleMania quite soon, and also my latest vlogcast where I reviewed WrestleMania 10. So again, thank you, Brendan and Nathan. I will stop saying bad things about you. Please call off your lawyers. Thank you. More later.
Well, that's all you gotta do. You gotta threaten the legal action,
Well,
and you get a polite simian.
there you go.
Is he
That's all
gone?
it takes. He's gone.
He's gone, for sure.
Yep.
Thank God. So that's Montrose Monkington, so make sure you follow him. Also, you can follow us.
You can.
Yeah, on Twitter and Instagram, WWTT Podcast. And you can also find us on Facebook, What Were They Thinking? And you can also interact with us at What Were They Thinking Interactive Facebook group.
Get all interactive and whatnot.
Yeah, you can also, on Twitter, by the way, you can also slide into our dirty mouths.
Yes, of course.
Our dirty mouths are open, so you can slide into them. You can also, of course, this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to. Wow, that made no sense. Also, this podcast is on many different platforms. You can find us on Podbean, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, many more. Al Jazeera Network, Teddy Ruxpin Appreciation Week,
Human Sentai Pod. Podkit Knife.
ABC Spark, but not Disney.
But not Disney.
And for a very limited time, we will be on HBO.
Yeah, but you gotta pay for the premium to get that.
Yeah, we're on right after the third repeat in a row of Sex and the City.
Mhm.
But before the new episode of Ballers. So we are
Well-
Ballers lead-in.
Well, yes.
We lead you to the balls.
Right.
Right.
After the sex.
After
In
the
the city.
sex, you get the balls.
Right. Well, after the sex, you get us and then the balls.
Right. That's how
Right.
it should be.
Yeah.
Guys, go see No Retreat, No Surrender. I have a question for you, though, Nathan.
Oh, really, Brendan? What is that?
Well,
Mhm.
in a... it's got to make sure my brain is working here. In a movie
Yep.
where Jean-Claude Van Damme, making his American film debut, is playing a Russian who speaks with a French accent.
Mm-hmm.
In a film where the story that's not supposed to be the love story is the love story of this movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Progressive.
Yeah. In a movie... Oh, yeah. In a movie where the ghost of Bruce Lee trains our main white male character.
Right.
And in a movie... Flurgan! Okay. Nathan,
Yes?
what were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
Theme
Give me a
song.
second.
You dying over there.
Bitch. Oh. Takahashi-san's gonna kill me one of these days.
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. Whether one last plot holes or gratuitous movies, it's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy. At eilfm.podbean.com.
Hey, do you like movies?
Hey,
Do you like podcasts?
If you do, then come on down and listen to the Home Video Hustle podcast, homie.
Hustle.
Every Friday, we talk about whatever movie PJ picks out the bag. What does that mean? Well, every Wednesday on our YouTube page, I pick a bunch of movies at random. Sometimes there's a theme to it, sometimes not. PJ picks the movie out, and guess what? We watch it on Friday. We talk about it for about maybe an hour and a half, whatever we feel like doing. Might give you something good to watch, baby. Come on down every Friday.
So come get your hustle on with Home Video Hustle.
You can find the show on any podcatcher app, or you can come down to homevideohustle.podbean.com. All of them in one place for you, so you can go ahead and binge it like it's Netflix. We ain't the Defenders, but I like to think we a little bit better than that. Come holler at your boys, man. Come chill with us. Peace.
Peace.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here.
Listen to me. Please listen. If you don't, if you won't, if you fail to understand, then the same incredible terror that's menacing me will strike at you!
Are you ready to enter the sci-fi double feature drive-in? Every month we hold a special double feature with a very interesting theme thought up by your host, the conspiracy-loving Elisa, and yours truly, Jarrett the Kaiju Man Wegelin. We discuss giant monsters, little monsters, genetic abominations, robots gone awry, aliens coming to Earth, cryptids, and anything in between. So join us at the Sci-Fi Double Feature Drive-In podcast every first and third Thursday of the month. And don't forget to stop by our snack bar first.